Hello, I'm Emmy from Alpha Advisors. Today, I want to talk about Waseda's MBA program, the Waseda Business School and Hitotsubashi Business School, which are representative business schools in Japan. Actually, in Japan, there are many great job opportunities after business school. Alpha has produced a lot of graduates who have gone on to work for well-known companies with high salaries like Toyota, Mitsubishi Corporation, and Mitsui & Co., as well as foreign firms in Japan like Goldman Sachs and McKinsey. Today, at Alpha, we support applicants coming to Japan from various countries around the world, including India, China, South Korea, Vietnam, and the Philippines. I want to come to Japan. I want to come from outside Japan. I work in Japan. I would like to introduce some recommended MBA programs for Indians, Chinese, Koreans, and others working in Japan. Alpha Advisors has been supporting the careers of working professionals, including both Japanese individuals and foreigners coming to Japan. We've assisted those going from countries like China, India, and Korea to MBA programs in the US, as well as those going from China to schools in Singapore. We have helped many students get accepted into some of the world's top schools and have also guided many of them through their subsequent job searches to top financial fund management consulting firms such as Goldman Sachs and BlackRock, as well as tech companies. So today, I would like to speak with TJ, the representative of Alpha, and myself, Emmy. TJ-san worked at Chicago booth, and before that, he worked at Sumitomo Corporation, a representative Japanese company. From there, he got an MBA at Chicago booth, went on to Goldman Sachs, and founded Alpha, where he has been supporting you for 17 years now. What about Emmy? After graduating from the University of Tokyo in Japan, yes, in healthcare, I worked in development, studied abroad at Columbia University's Graduate School of Education, and now I'm Alpha's COO. For individual consultations, we first offer a free consultation, so please access it through the box on our homepage. After that, we'll listen to your situation during the free consultation. We provide individual support for MBA graduate school job hunting and career changes. All right, today I want to specifically talk about Japan's top MBA business schools. There are several representative MBAs, such as Hitotsubashi, Waseda, and Keio, and I'll briefly discuss the characteristics of each. So, TJ, please go ahead.
We really provide a wide range of support for admissions to MBA programs in Japan, as well as global MBA programs, and we also assist with computer science, data science, and business analytics. This includes support for essays, resumes, recommendations, and test preparation. So, especially for people from countries such as India, China, Vietnam, and Taiwan, for instance. There are a lot of people who want to come to Japan, America, England, etc., and we are supporting them. The number of people coming is increasing. So this time, there are quite a lot of people who want to come to Japan, or people who are currently working in Japan, but want to take an MBA course to step up. So I would like to talk about Hitotsubashi ICS and Waseda MBA programs in particular. So there are Hitotsubashi, Waseda, and Keio, but Keio only has a basic program in Japanese. Well, it's fine for people who can speak Japanese, but if you're looking for something that can be done in English, I think Hitotsubashi's MBAs and Waseda are the best. These two schools are very top class in Japan, English and Japanese programs. Well, there are many programs that are done only in English, yes, and it's case-based and people from all over the world. There are quite a few people gathering, and there are relatively few Japanese students. So it creates a very diverse community with smaller class sizes, which I think is really beneficial for everyone. As for Hitotsubashi, it's a full-time MBA and it's a small class. Also, Japanese MBAs are really cheap compared to overseas MBAs, so I think it's easy to come and study there. Also, through Hitotsubashi's global network and exchange programs, you can go to a top MBA abroad. It's only one semester, so you can take that opportunity to go there. Many students also go to places like Boston for career programs, especially those entering consulting firms or global companies, including trading companies in Japan. So Waseda, in particular, the name Waseda itself has a very high global reputation, and they also have an MBA program. And then there's Waseda and Nanan. That's right. They're doing it together with the Singapore MBA. There was a program that said you could also go on an exchange program, and it's not an MBA though. The Master of Finance program is specialized in finance and is available in English. So, all in all, I think there are about 3 options for everyone to choose from. Yes, and when considering job opportunities in Japan, having a strong alumni network is particularly important. We often trace the network within the alumni community, and we provide support in that area as well. I think it would be great for you to consider Waseda as one of your options. So, Keio University is indeed an excellent school, and they basically teach in Japanese, and they also have an exchange program. Well, you can go abroad, but it might be good for people who want to improve their Japanese. And many people are sponsored by their own company or they are in a family business. And there are a lot of people who go into management positions. So they want to get a job in Japan, for example, a Japanese trading company. If you want to get into a top-tier company or a foreign company based in Japan, especially, your Japanese language skills will be evaluated. So, entering a school like Keio to strengthen your Japanese while being proficient in English is a good strategy. There are already quite a few people who can speak both English and Japanese. If you can do that, you can also participate in events like the Boston Career Forum. You can also find employment in Japan, so as long as you decide which language to study, I think there is little difference in brand value between these 3.
I'd like to talk about the application process, specifically regarding Aoba Beam. So, the admission requirements for business schools in Japan and those outside Japan are generally quite similar. For the educational background, you typically need a bachelor's degree or an equivalent qualification. As for language requirements, for the full-time English program at Hitotsubashi, you often need to take tests like TOEFL or IELTS and sometimes GRE as well. In the case of an MBA taught in Japanese, like at Keio, proficiency in Japanese is required, so you would need to take the Japanese language proficiency test. In some cases, it may be necessary. As for work experience, a minimum of 2 to 3 years is generally recommended. So, yes, the 5th point labeled other is actually very important, and it relates to the essays. While you might write research proposals in Japan for English programs, you need to focus on essays or a statement of purpose. This is where you articulate your career goals, why you want to pursue an MBA in Japan, why you want to do it now, and what you hope to achieve in the future. So, of course, your career history and consistency, as well as the set with the program, are very important. So, this is also Alpha's specialty, and many students from Alpha have been accepted into Harvard and Stanford, the world's top schools. I wouldn't say that Japanese MBAs are easy, but compared to global schools, it is still. As for the essay section, not many people prepare that much. Some people even take it on their own. So I think if you come to Alpha, you will be able to win there by a landslide. And I also give lectures on resume writing, interviews, and resume writing, so please feel free to contact me. As for career outcomes, after all, when you first join a large Japanese company or a foreign company in Japan, you may transfer to a foreign company in Japan, such as your own country or another country. This significantly broadens your career opportunities, and of course, your salary and position will increase as you move into management roles. In consulting, for example, there are representatives from firms like McKinsey and BCG who have come from Alpha. Many also enter the Big Four firms like Deloitte and PwC. Additionally, in the finance sector, there are opportunities at major banks and securities companies in Japan, as well as global investment banks. Especially for foreigners, those who are applying to Japanese business schools are often highly valued for their global perspective, and many are active in the finance industry. There are also opportunities in IT and manufacturing sectors. In Japan, companies like Toyota are representative examples. Companies like GK Mitsubishi Corporation and the Mitsubishi Group, as well as Rakuten and Amazon and even Toyota, are seeing a significant increase in their overseas sales ratios. In fact, knowing the local markets and being proficient in local languages can be a huge advantage, often more so than for Japanese individuals. Yes, there are advantages in employment as well. Additionally, some people are starting their own businesses or taking on management roles in small venture companies. So there are various career paths available. So let's talk about studying abroad at business schools and achieving career success in Japan. First and foremost, it's important to choose a program that aligns with your goals. This includes the language of instruction, A, as the first factor, the details of the program as the second, and ensuring that the program matches your career goals as the third. The fourth factor is the alumni network and the industries where graduates are working. As I mentioned earlier, many come from large Japanese companies. There are also people who come through corporate sponsorship. In that case, the network among the students who come here becomes very strong. And then there's the topic of tension and scholarships. This is a fundamental aspect, but it can be surprisingly hard to understand or not very clear, so please feel free to ask any questions about it. Yes, that's right. Also, in terms of domestic or international focus, there's Waseda and Hitotsubashi, which I mentioned earlier. They have a very strong international flavor, and Waseda in particular is located in the heart of Tokyo. So it's easy to get a network in the center of Tokyo, which is where a lot of the business comes from. On the other hand, Keio is very famous. It's located in the urban area of Tokyo, but it tends to be quite domestic. There are very few international students there, so please feel free to consult with us to align with your focus. At Alpha, we have a success rate of about 90%. Recently, we've been getting a lot of inquiries, so it's over 90% now. Almost everyone who applies with our support gets accepted, which is a testament to Alpha's assistance. Also, TJ graduated from an MBA program in Chicago and has experience in business, having worked at Sumitomo Corporation in Japan, so he knows a lot about Japanese business, as well as global finance and business, including firms like Goldman Sachs. If you leave your job search to Alpha afterwards, we can help you with both your business school admission and your job placement. I believe it will lead to a highly satisfying career. Individual consultations are available for free, so please feel free to come by. Just reach out to us here. We discuss with everyone and also propose personalized support plans from Alpha. I'm looking forward to talking with all of you. Thank you. I'll take my leave now. Please continue.